Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Kabri Curious Harry and Arun Foot with me at Hiren and Arnav. And yeah, it was BFC versus Goa. I think it was frustrating. If you're a BFC fan, if you're a Goa fan, I'm sure it's the result that you wanted. I don't think they cared about how many goals they scored today. They needed the 3 points and they've got the 3 points at home. And yeah, they're putting pressure on Mumbai and Mohun Bagan at the top of the table. So anything can happen. Although Goa, it's still looking a little difficult for Goa. Anything can happen. You never know. But yeah, the game had a few talking points, and we'll discuss them. It started with a Shivaldo opener, I think within the second minute, and yeah, then you had that weird goal from Odeya. It just bounces off him and goes in. So bit of luck for Goa, but I think it was deserved at that point. They were putting the pressure on BFC, and it looked like a goal was going to come. After that, I thought it was a fairly okay game. I don't think either side was doing enough to get a sort of nudge ahead. But in the end, Suresh red card and Kezia weaned up. Man, you can be good on the ball. I just something that really frustrated me. You can be good on the ball. You can have the best pass in the team. But if you can't put in 10 to 15% of effort from a defensive perspective, you cannot be playing. That was shocking. He doesn't even attempt to block the cross. He's pretty much strolling around, walking back. The cross came in with it was so easy for Goa. I think after the rest of the team has worked extremely hard with 10 men. You you can't let your team down like that. And I think that was poor stuff from him. So yeah, that's that for me. I don't know, what do you make of the game?
I'm a little bit of a different opinion than you because I felt in the second half, or let's say after about 30, 35 minutes, it looked like a little bit of a cup game to me. BFC are trying
Yeah,
to stay in the game, and it was a question of when will Goa score or will Goa sort of, we've just had it in the German Cup where Saarbrücken, a third division club has beaten Bayern, has beaten Frankfurt, has beaten Mönchengladbach, and you get a knockout punch. And they had those opportunities, right? BFC at 1-1 potentially had those knockout punches, sort of these opportunities, and they didn't take it. But to me, it was like even before conceding the losing goal, BFC to me were too. Ah, there was no intent to try and score a second. I don't know what was that today, right? I mean, and again, of course, Goa is good on their day, but again, this is not the FC Goa that was there at the start of the season, and you had problems. You saw that Manolo took a chance and said, "Listen, I'm not happy with Jay Gupta. Let me put Jay Gupta on the bench. Let me bring on Narayan Das." And you saw Narayan has played minimal time. Has
yeah,
played even a centre back this season. He was It was terrible, terrible. I mean, if you remember that Narayan Das used to be, with FC Goa earlier in his earlier stints, and was a reliable left back, and you didn't really capitalize on those opportunities, which could have or should have come your way as BFC. So therefore, I would say, if you're a BFC fan, uh, you will be disappointed because I think from a club of the stature of BFC, this is just not good enough.
no, absolutely. I agree in the sense that BSC came with a plan which was to sit back. They were not going to take the onus and go on attack. They were waiting for opportunities to counter. Where I feel bad as a fan is after you've gone down to 10, they showed fight and they showed character to stay in the game. I think for as long as they did, at least to me, I think they did well. Put in the effort. I think Sunil also got back. He was doing his defense. He was a bit defensively as well. And then that sort of moment comes where Kezia, who's just come on the pitch, he's barely played any time, and you can't sort of walk around. He's literally strolling, and that really frustrated me. Is one thing I just can't see is if you've just come on the pitch, come on, man, just give your 100%, leave it all there, and then it's fine. If you concede, then fair play to Goa. But yes, anyways, Hiren, what do you make of it?
Interesting game to be honest. And last couple of matches स्टार्टिंग में हमें गोल देखने को मिल रहे हैं. पिछले 2-3 मैच में भी ऐसा सिनारियो था कि जैसे ही मैच स्टार्ट हुआ हमें गोल देखने को मिल रहा है. इस मैच में भी सेम सिनारियो था विद दैट Sivaldo's brilliant goal, and लग रहा था कि today BFC will come up with that more attacking instinct. But after that goal, I think जिस तरह से गोवा ने response किया, I think that's a great to see. And they were really close to score a goal in the first half also. जिस तरह से और जो goal भी आया, whatever ना दे, little bit unlucky आप बोल सकते हो BFC, but I think ऐसे गोल हमने देखे हैं कई बार. दूसरा जो गोल आई थिंक कंसीड किया, दैट वाज डेफिनेटली कमिंग, बिकॉज इससे पहले भी एक ऐसा मोमेंट बना था जहाँ पे बोरिस सिंह ने मिस किया था एक सीटर सा गोल की, जो यहाँ पे आई थिंक दामियानोविच ने बेहतरीन ब्लॉक किया था. And this time, second time, I think he's been very well positioned and score a brilliant goal. But second half is all about the you can say कि Goa's attack. I think जितना आई थिंक बीच में मैच में स्टेट दिखाया था कि जो फाइनल थर्ड में एंट्रीज है उसमें एफसी गोवा की है 163 एंड बीएफसी की थी 33. सो दैट्स द डिफरेंस यू नोटिस कि किस तरह से दोनों टीम यहाँ पे आफ्टर द 10 मैन डाउन यहाँ पे कंप्लीटली चेंज हो चुका था. और यहाँ पे जो बीएफसी थे वो यहाँ पे फुल ऑन डिफेंसिव मोड में, और जैसे आपने बोला कि वो वेट कर रहे थे कि हम काउंटर पे यहाँ पे मौका बनेगा तो कर देंगे, और एक वो जो हैंड ऑफ गॉड करने की कोशिश थी रोस्ट की ओर से, आई थिंक सेकंड हाफ में वो एक ही चांस मेरे को लगा कि जो बीएफसी के पास बेहतरीन चांस था. उससे पहले आई थिंक वो एक रैन विलियम्स वाला था कि जहाँ पे विजय केंट्रोप ने बेहतरीन एक लॉन्ग बॉल उनको पास किया था, बट उससे भी बेटर ये चांस था. So I think it's a total you can say game of FC Goa, and they are also a little bit disappointing because they should have scored a more goal. It's not like a 2-1 scoreline. They need to you can say capitalize with the 10 men down if opposition team in 45 minutes. ऐसा भी नहीं था कि लास्ट के कुछ मिनट थे. सेकंड हाफ पूरा उन्होंने 10 men के साथ खेला है. So I think there are a couple of positive for FC Goa, couple of still area of improvement, and now they are putting a pressure on the Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City because FC गोवा के जो तीनों मैचेस है वो यहाँ पे अभी आई थिंक चेन्नई एफसी, जमशेदपुर और उन सब के साथ है. सो आई थिंक वो इनके लिए एक अच्छी बात है कि यहाँ पे प्रेशर उतना ज्यादा नहीं होगा. दूसरी साइड यहाँ पे मोहन बगान एंड मुंबई सिटी का एक मैच बचा हुआ है. सो दैट्स अ इंटरेस्टिंग सिनेरियो. बट बेंगलुरु एफसी विल बी डेफिनेटली डिसअपॉइंटिंग बिकॉज आफ्टर यू कैन से टेकिंग अ लीड अब अपने मैच लूज किया है. एंड डेफिनेटली सुरेश पांगजाम ने इस सीजन दूसरी बार रेड कार्ड खाया है. यहाँ पे फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में भी एक रेड कार्ड उन्होंने खाया था इसी तरह का. एंड दैट्स डेफिनेटली अफेक्ट ऑन द टीम्स परफॉर्मेंस कि आपका की प्लेयर इस तरह का मिस हो. सो लेट्स सी, यहाँ पे थ्री टीम्स आर ऑन द सेम पॉइंट नाउ. आई थिंक 6, 7 and 8 all are 19 matches, 21 points. So that makes interesting scenario. But overall, you can see FC Goa's team.
Yep, and captain, I think making the point that you're going to miss Damianovic, Ivanovic, and Suresh for the next game, and that I just hope Suresh understands that he's a key player, and to have these hot-headed moments is not okay if you're going to be that main guy. You need to be in the team. We need Suresh against Odisha, and yeah, it's a huge miss. So yeah, uh, don't know what else to say. No, you think Suresh? There's still a sort of maturity that needs to kick in, although he's playing consistently sort of season after season. He's trusted by the BFC coaches, and from time to time he plays for the national team as well. So you still think there's a maturity that he still needs to show?
Yeah, if you ask me, I think that's sometimes is a matter. You know, if you to me, we saw that with Parthiv Gogoi the other day as well. That there might be situations where you lose the ball, where you're unable to do what you want, what you want to do. But you have to keep a cool head and then try and get something out of that situation. And this is something which, for some reason or the other, these guys were unable to do. You know, that's for me, that's the worrying part for someone like Suresh, who is an important and integral part of this BFC team. I think he's the most important defensive midfielder for the team if a foreigner is not playing. And to some extent, the same applies for him from a national team perspective as well, where he will most probably face superior opposition if you're going to play stronger sides. You can't do something like that and hit out. Again, he didn't hit him properly, but if you're going to try and hit him like that, and that is seen by the linesman, well, then you have to say it's sadly the right decision, and there's no point of discussion about it, that you didn't touch him or that you didn't hit him.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair. Konalon Singh Khelna was confirmed that Mumbai will be getting their 3 points for Jamshedpur. So you will get two more added on at the top of the table. So again, this is going to make things a lot more interesting. Can't say, yeah, I'd say the FC Goa's title race will be over today, but funny thing is, FC Goa were there for the taking. Like
But
it was not a
Rahul,
stunning
no,
performance.
but
So yeah,
still I feel that it's a two horse race for me too till now.
yeah, I
I
agree.
think no way FC Goa win this today. But if you see, if 2 point added in Mumbai City, then they have 41. So 5 point ahead of FC Goa and 3 game in hand. I think in तीन गेमों में 5 point का difference cover करना it's a difficult thing. So for me, it's a still Mumbai City and Mohun Bagan race. I don't see FC Goa in that race.
Yeah,
Completely agree. Akash and saying Suresh plays good sometimes, but sometimes like a headless chicken makes fouls. I think Suresh has evolved over the last, again, the course of the season. I've seen his passing improve. His effort is always there. And I think because his passing has improved to a certain extent, he's very, very important in that BFC midfield because we don't have a sort of a sure shot player who's going to start apart from Suresh in that defensive midfield role. You've got Sana who's been filling in, who's done well actually in fairness to him. But yeah, apart from that, you had different players coming in. You had Harsh, you had Kesia from time to time. So he's just a very important player. He's the only guy who's sort of played throughout the season consistently. But yeah, it is what it is with Suresh.
I think Suresh depends a little bit on who's playing next to him. I think that's his sort of thingy. I used to see that when he was 15, 16 at the that preparatory time for the under 17 World Cup squad, that he was sort of a little bit dependent on, is it going to be Jigsaw? Is it going to be Amarjeet at the time? And again, in the Asian Cup or before the Asian Cup, he also looked decent when you had suddenly an Apuya or a Deepak Tangri next to him. I think the last two matches, positive surprise is that Sana Singh as a holding six. I mean, to me, I think that's the biggest point, and that Sana is playing so well in that position, and again, BFC is playing with two foreign centre backs. So therefore, to me, yeah, that's an interesting one to see.
Exactly the point, Akansh. I think he's got the assist as well. So you can see that there are different parts of his game that are developing. I think his shot still has to improve, but there are different things in his game that he's worked on and he's doing well. So it's just sad to see that a player like him will be missing for important games. Yeah, coming to Hiren.
And just to add to that is that Boris and him have been, again, forget that they're from the same state, but they're part of the same batch. They've played the under 17 World Cup and all of that together. So these guys know each other for quite some time from their football, right? And therefore, yeah, that's one where I say, fight for the ball, but again, try and, I know it's difficult sometimes to be and remain fair, but that is there as well. So let's see, that's for him. I think, I guess Simon Grayson will have spoken about him to that early in the season, and I guess tonight Zaragoza will have a word with him as well.
Yep. Football Odisha saying Odisha is still in the race. 3 points behind Mumbai, and they have a match against them. If OFC beat Mumbai, then finish over Mumbai. But Mumbai still have the 2 points to be added on. So technically that wouldn't happen. So
exactly. So that's a risk. That's a risk where they stand, and so therefore that's an interesting one to see. Again, Odisha are not out of it, but again, we'll talk about their AFC Cup, and then you realize sort of where they sort of stand in this whole situation.
Yep. I know there's Ayan's asking about Schalke's position in the second division. They're struggling, aren't they?
They've actually done well. They've beaten last week, but the weekend before, St. Pauli, who are top of the second Bundesliga, are going to go up. Had a crazy 3-3 against Paderborn last week, and so they're okay. I think they're 12 or 13. I don't know. Like somewhere out there, right? So for them, I think most important thing is to stay in the league and not get relegated. So yeah, at the moment, it's fine.
Okay, so that's where we stand with Schalke. Hiren, coming to you about FC Goa, you think they can really push on and challenge? Because again, the performance aren't convincing, so I'm sure fans also are feeling a little down about it. And with just 3 games to go, you see them pushing Mohun Bagan, and I know you already said that they can't, but how do they play out these 3 games then? If it's not a title challenge, what do you think they need to do before they get into the playoffs?
I think it will be very important to win those three remaining matches for FC Goa to get the, you can say, कि momentum, confidence in the players, and जिस तरह से फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में खेल रहे थे, आई थिंक वो कॉन्फिडेंस लाने के लिए कि विनिंग मोमेंटम की जरूरत है, एंड दैट विल हेल्प डेफिनेटली देम इनटू द, यू कैन से कि प्लेऑफ. दे, इफ यू सी FC Goa's टीम, दे हैव सम क्वालिटी प्लेयर्स, बेंच पे भी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग यहाँ पे उनके पास यंगस्टर भी है. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली जिस तरह से सेकंड हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में संदेश टिंगान के जाने से बैकलाइन में जो यहाँ पे पूरा यहाँ पे सफल हुआ है, देन फ्रंट लाइन का जिस तरह से वो क्या बोलते हैं कि चांसेस को कन्वर्ट ना करना, वो कहीं ना कहीं टीम के ऊपर टोल आया है, एंड मनोलो मार्केस के ऊपर भी आया है. आई थिंक वो क्लियरली विजिबल है जिस तरह से उन्होंने पिछले कुछ टाइम में स्टेटमेंट दिए है और सारी चीजें की है. ही लुक्स ऑल्सो, यू कैन सी, इन अंडर प्रेशर. सो आई थिंक आफ्टर दिस 3 विन, चाहे भले ही वो सील्ड ना जीते, बट एक जो एक मोमेंटम और सेकंड थर्ड जहाँ पे भी फिनिश करेंगे, आई थिंक वो एक मोमेंटम टीम में होगा, एक एटमोस्फियर, एक कॉन्फिडेंस होगा टीम में. दैट विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प देम इनटू द प्लेऑफ की जहाँ पे कोई कोई सी भी टीम जो उनसे भिड़ेगी, दैट विल बी हैव टू बी, यू कैन से कि वेरी वेरी केयरफुल. सो आई थिंक स्टिल दे हैव ए फाइट. ऐसा नहीं कि सीजन में सील्ड गया तो बात खत्म हो गई. दे स्टिल हैव ए फाइट फॉर दैट, यू कैन से कि कप, ISL cup title. So I think they need to aim for that now. And remaining 3 matches, 9 points. So anything can happen, but I think they need to. I think Hyderabad FC, Jamshedpur, and Chennai के साथ उनके 3 matches बचे. राहुल चेक करो. I think these are the 3 opponents. So
Yeah,
I think
the fixtures:
Chennai
Goa,
and Jamshedpur.
Goa, yeah,
Jamshedpur तो है ही.
Jamshedpur, Hyderabad, and then they've got Chennai. So
Chennai.
good run.
So good run. They can have a very good run, and that momentum will definitely help them into the playoff.
Yeah. And now, given the ease of fixtures, do you not think Goa can still mount a challenge?
It's a tricky one because Goa also sort of play 5th, 9th, and 14th. So they have also a little bit of a rush of matches towards the end, right? So that will be an interesting one, how they cope with that, because that's going to be a challenge for them if they're going to be able to do what they want to do, what they think they can do. So therefore, from that perspective, will be very interesting to see, because again, they theoretically, yes, they are in the mix, but they, with all the chances also that they had, they didn't look that stable to me. You know, that's the difference, I think, between Mumbai City, Mohun Bagan, and the other teams who are, you know, top 5 or who are trying to get that 6th spot. I think that Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City are much more stable and much more settled at the moment towards the end of the season, and that, of course, is going to help them at least till the final game of the Shield race, right? Playoffs, totally new thing, but I think towards the end, you know, and therefore it's I don't, you know, it would be a massive surprise to me if FC Goa wins the Shield. You know, that would mean that, you know, to some extent Mumbai City and Mohun Bagan have to collapse.
Yeah, it's heating up, and it's. I mean, it's been fun throughout, and after the international break, we're going to expect more of the same. But Central Coast Mariners versus FC Odisha. Yeah, we knew that the game was up. We knew that it was going to be extremely tough for Goa to do anything after that 4-0 thrashing in Australia. So 0-0 on the day. Hiren, what do you make of it? And how are Odisha going to be looking at it? 0-0 seems like a win for them.
If you see the scoreline, then you can see that for them it's a win. But with the gameplay and the match, the way match played, I think there is a vast difference between the two sides and the quality side. That is the reality. So you can't, you can say, have a fake perception with this scoreline that 0-0 से ड्रॉ कर लिया और पे तो उन्होंने कुछ टक्कर दी होगी. बिकॉज अगर आप देखेंगे जिस तरह से मैच खेला गया है, 0 शॉट ऑन टारगेट थे ओडिशा एफसी की ओर से। पहले हाफ में कोई शॉट नहीं था, पहले हाफ में जिस तरह से 1 या 2 इन बाइंड रन बने उसमें भी एक ऑफसाइड था। दूसरे हाफ में आई थिंक एक आध वो हाफ चांस आप बोलेंगे, अदर देन दैट इट्स ऑल अबाउट सेंट्रल कोस्ट मरीनर। और सेंट्रल कोस्ट मरीनर का भी प्लान क्लियर था, क्योंकि उनको यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं था कि फुल ऑन अटैकिंग जाने की जरूरत थी। दे ऑलरेडी हैव अ 4-0 स्कोर लाइन, व्हाई वुड दे गो एंड यू कैन से टेक अ रिस्क कि अगर यहाँ पे स्टार्टिंग में एक आध गोल कंसीड कर दिया, देन मे बी यू कैन से कि मोमेंटम शिफ्ट हो। सो दे हैव अ क्लियर कट प्लान एंड स्टिल दे एबल टू यू कैन से कि थ्रो अराउंड ओडिशा एफसी's गेम प्ले। एंड एक चीज जो राहुल यहाँ पे क्लियरली विजिबल थी कि चाहे आपके जो आईएसएल में जो सुपरस्टार प्लेयर है, चाहे वो फॉरेनर्स हो इंडियंस हो, जब वो इस तरह के कॉम्पिटिटिव मैचेस में और क्वालिटी साइड के सामने आते, सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस। बिकॉज हियर यू हैव यू कैन से दैट एक्स्ट्रा जो 1-2 सेकंड आपको आईएसएल में मिलते हैं ना पास करने के लिए, यहाँ पे नहीं मिलते। यू हैव ए वेरी, जैसे आपके पास बॉल आएगा यू हैव दैट हाई प्रेसिंग ऑफ ऑपोजिशन की 2-3 प्लेयर आपके अराउंड हो गए, यू नीड टू मेक अ क्विक डिसीजन कि कहाँ पे पास करना है। और आप देखेंगे कि कितना जल्दी यहाँ पे ओडिशा एफसी प्लेयर जो है वो यहाँ पे बॉल को लूज कर रहे थे। व्हेन दे हैव बॉल आइदर दे मेक यू कैन से कि रॉन्ग पास और दे लूज द बॉल, और जो उनके यहाँ पे क्रॉसेस भी आ रहे थे या फिर जो भी आ रहे थे that are not accurate because of that you can see कि continuously कि भाई मेरे मेरे को प्रेस हो रहा है। So I think there is a vast difference between the quality and that we have to accept कि we still have a long way to go, but ओडिशा एफसी का जिस तरह से कैंपेन रहा वो आई थिंक एक कमेंडेबल रहा था, जिस तरह से किसी ने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था, क्योंकि मोहन बगान वेरी फेवरेट्स के वही यहाँ पे सब एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे। तो उस सेंस पे काफी बढ़िया बात थी। बट मैच के हिसाब से आई थिंक डिसअपॉइंटिंग आप बोलेंगे कि यहाँ पे जिस तरह से टीम की ओर से परफॉर्मेंस आया। एंड आई थिंक इट्स सर्जियो लोवेरास फर्स्ट ईयर, सो वो भी एक आपको बोलना पड़ेगा। एंड सारी चीजें थी, बट ओवरऑल आई थिंक सेंट्रल कोस्ट मरीनर वेड एक पेनल्टी भी उनको मिला था, फॉर्चुनेटली वो यहाँ पे उन्होंने पोस्ट पे हिट कर दिया, सो वो भी एक फेवर में रिजल्ट आया। And other than that, I think lots of learning for Odisha FC, particularly young Indian player like Isaac, Emir Anawade. They have, I think, get a very good exposure against this quality side.
Anava, what did you expect from Odisha before the game started? And I know that heads must have been down. And it does look like the Central Coast Mariners also rotated the squad. So
again, I think when you go into a game with a 4-0 lead or you're four goals down, whatever Lobera or Diego Mauricio said yesterday in the pre-match press conference, you know that you're playing in opposition, even if they're going to rotate and play their bench, that it's going to be tough, it's going to be difficult, and you need an early goal somehow. If you want to have any sort of thought that you can at least get into extra time, you need an early goal. And it didn't look like Odisha are going to get a goal. I think Odisha was about, okay, let's avoid losing 2-3-0, And if you look at that, one has to be honest that this is a kind of opposition which Indian clubs rarely have faced in the AFC Cup. Maybe Mohun Bagan, Nasaf would be an example. Agni saying, talking about East Bengal and BFC in semi-final and final, I would have said, those opponents were really not of that level. I mean, Mohun Bagan going out last year to Kuala Lumpur City, it's not, to me is not of the level of a Central Coast Mariners, right? Or as I said, Nasaf or these sides. So we have to be realistic at that, and they have done well. They've done well overall in this campaign. If you're able to get into the knockout stages from this group, where of course Mohun Bagan were the clear-cut favourites. Even Basundhara is now an experienced team in Asian competitions. So Lobera did a very commendable job with the team, but this was an opponent too big, and a lot of things would have to go your way to cause any kind of upset.
आई थिंक सर इसका सिमिलर सा एग्जांपल है मुंबई सिटी का 2 लास्ट चैंपियंस लीग का परफॉर्मेंस। लास्ट जो पहले बार थे उसमें उन्होंने पॉइंट हासिल किए थे, और इस बार जब ओपोनेंट और ज्यादा टफ मिले तब आप देखिए कि क्या हुआ। तो आपने बिल्कुल सही बोला कि जो बीएफसी ने और उन्होंने डेफिनेटली फाइनल सेमीफाइनल खेला है, उसका कोई वो क्रेडिट वो वाली बात नहीं है। बट आई थिंक जो ओपोनेंट आई थिंक सेंट्रल कोस्ट मरीनर अभी मिला है, और जिस तरह की विनिंग स्ट्रीक के साथ वो आ रहे थे, आई थिंक पिछले 6-7 मैचेस वो जीत के आ रहे थे कंटिन्यूअसली. So they are on a very well run, and जिस तरह की उनके पास quality है, I think that makes totally the difference.
Ogni, I think last year, yes, of course, they beat Air Force last year, but again, I think last year, the year before, even the performance of Goa in the Champions League, those are bubble leagues. So it's also this home and away format and traveling. There's that. Al Hilal is on an incredible run at the moment. These teams are on a different level. So we saw that with the Indian national team at the Asian Cup. So we have to be honest to ourselves. That's why, the last few months, this season has been a reality check of where Indian football stands in an Asian context. We are not there where maybe we would like Indian football to be, or where some people might thought Indian football is. We are nowhere near that level where we would like to see Indian football. And that's the reality.
Yep. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Odisha weren't really able to compete and got beaten 4-0 on aggregate in the end. India's under 23 probable list. We've got 26 names. We'll just run through them and then we'll discuss the list and what you guys make of it. Start with keepers. Asharwar Sheikh, Prabshukan Gill, Vishal Yadav are the three keepers mentioned. Any names you would have liked to see other than these three, Ray?
I think if you see Prabshukan Gill, I think he's a deserving one. I think जिस तरह से इस बंगाल के साथ इस सीजन परफॉर्मेंस आ रही है, लास्ट सीजन भी यहाँ पे केरला ब्लास्टर के साथ बेहतरीन परफॉर्मेंस थी. विशाल यादव लास्ट सीजन जमशेदपुर के साथ आई थिंक हाफ ऑफ द सीजन बेहतरीन खेले थे, सो उसका उनको रिवॉर्ड मिला है. अर्सन वर्सेक इज द बैकअप कीपर ऑफ मोहन बगान. सो कीपर में आई थिंक ज्यादा ऑप्शन भी आपके पास सच नहीं थे. आप धीरज सिंह, आई थिंक काफी सारे आप थोड़े से मतलब जो प्लेयर ऐसे प्लेयर है कि जो आप चाहते हो कि मिक्स में आए, उनको भी मौका देना चाहते हो. आई थिंक तो उस सेंस में आई थिंक कीपर में तो आई डोंट सी एनी अदर अंडर 23. सर, डू यू हैव एनी माइंड? आई थिंक what are the other option?
I would have said Sachin Suresh if fit. He could have been in
yes.
the mix. I've seen certain people calling for Som Kumar, who's playing in Slovenia, but I say Som is rather under 20 than under 23, and he's playing at a level where I would have thought that he's not ready for that level of football. So otherwise, I think those are the sort of three best. Again, as you've mentioned, Dheeraj might have been maybe an option as well, but you saw today Dheeraj, again, that goal against Shivaldo. Normally Dheeraj is good in these one-on-ones, but he couldn't save it today. So therefore, it's okay. Those three are okay. Prabsukan likely to be the starting keeper, and then we'll see.
Yeah, and I think Dheeraj today also didn't convince. I thought there were a couple of moments when it was pretty much rolling and he wasn't able to get there. So yeah, he's had his critics as well, and he's still in that ongoing battle with Arshdeep for the FC Goa spot in goal. Yeah, guys, let's run through the defenders. Hiren, Vikas Shimnam, Chingamam Shivaldo Singh, you've got Homipam Ruaya, and then Narendra, Robin Yadav, and Sandeep Mandi. Happy with those?
Vikas Shimnam is the सबसे ज्यादा उन्होंने मिनट्स खेले हैं आईएसएल में इस सीजन अंडर 20 अगर इंडिया प्लेयर की बात करें. सो एंड मिक्स में भी रहे हैं पिछले एक डेढ़ साल में, काफी ज्यादा वो यहाँ पे डिस्कशन में भी रहे हैं एंड एक पोटेंशियल प्लेयर है. सो आई थिंक ही डिजर्व. फॉर्मिपाम लास्ट सीजन बेहतरीन कर रहे थे, इस सीजन उतना ज्यादा कन्विंसिंग नहीं लगे हैं, बट आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी कि टू ट्राई हिम एट द at India under 23 level. Robin Yadav, maybe I think Nosad Musa BFC के भी असिस्टेंट मैनेजर रह चुके हैं, सो आई थिंक वहां से उनको डेफिनेटली उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट होगा. और रोबिन यादव ने फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में कुछ मैचेस खेले थे, सेकंड हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में उतना ज्यादा मौका नहीं मिला है उनको. शिवाल्डो सिंह, आई थिंक हम सबने देखा, इज बीन इंप्रेसिव वन, सो दैट्स अ गुड वन. नरेंद्र हैज बीन प्लेइंग फॉर ओडिशा एफसी, लास्ट सीजन अच्छा किया था, इस सीजन ठीक ठाक कर रहे हैं. सो इज देयर एंड अनदर वन इज द इंटरकासिस प्लेयर, आई थिंक. सो दैट्स द इंटरेस्टिंग चॉइस मेड बाय द नौशाद मूसा. सो दिस आर द, आई थिंक जो अगर आप पूरी स्क्वाड भी देखेंगे 26 मेंबर, मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेयर जो उन्होंने सिलेक्ट किए हैं आईएसएल के, दे आर प्लेइंग रेगुलरली फॉर देयर यू कैन से कि आईएसएल क्लब साइड. सो दैट्स अ गुड पार्ट. ऐसा नहीं है कि सारे बेंच वाले प्लेयर या पे उठाए. मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेयर आर रेगुलरली गेटिंग अ चांस इन देयर मेन स्क्वाड.
I know is Valpuya overage.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
2000.
yeah.
He's 2000 born. Yeah, he's gonna turn 24 soon.
Fair enough. And I think they've got a couple of Robin Yadav is a right back, and if Shivaldo has been listed in the defenders, then I'm sure he's been listed as a right back. I don't see him playing
But
anywhere else.
Sivaldo is originally a centre back, na? He's centre back nahi.
No.
He's
Shivaldo
a winger.
plays. He's a winger.
He's a winger.
Basically.
He's an attacking. To me, he's an attacking. That's why some of the positionings, again, Mark Zoe
But
to
his
me is more
profile
of a left
is
back.
nahi, but yes, but his profile in online I checked out is showing as a centre back and right.
Shivaldo has been playing for BFC at least either in the midfield or on the right wing. So
Right.
that's pretty much it. So
नहीं BFC में तो उसी पोजीशन पे खेल रहा है, दैट्स व्हाई मैंने बोला कि इसको इसकी प्रोफाइल में सेंटर बैक एंड राइट बैक है और जब से जरगोजा खिला रहा है मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इट विल बी ऑन द मिडफील्ड और अटैकिंग पोजीशन.
See, the question is if when was the profile created, who created the profile, and who has not updated the
profile. Yeah.
Shivaldo is probably the shortest player on the team, I think, in the current BFC squad. So centre back is not happening for him. But yeah, Anuma, you said Valpuya is overage. But what do you make of this list? And yeah, you're right. I think Mark Zoe has been added in midfielders. Probably here and there, a couple have been switched. So yeah, what do you make of the defenders, Anuma?
It shows a little bit of a problem with defenders. Who's available, who's not available. Bikash last season very strong in the I-League, but this year on and off. Shivaldo to me is not right in that position, so therefore I would rather put him into even in the attack rather than in the midfield. Hormipam shaky, I think Ivan has not been very happy with him. Narendra also in and out of Odisha FC. Robin Yadav, the same thing, had a little bit of playing time at the start, but now has featured very limited. Sandeep Mandi is an interesting one because he's done well for Interkashi. I would have thought that there are 2 or 3 others who might also be called up from their side, but yeah, that shows us where again. And Mark Zoe potentially to me could be slotting in as a left back.
Yeah, doesn't look like they have another left back. I think he's got to be playing at left back then, Mark Zoe. So yeah, moving to the midfielders, Abhishek Suryavanshi, Bryson Fernandez. You've got Mark Zoe, who will probably play at left back. You've got Mohammad Aiman, Sanatoy Mite, and then you've got Toiba Singh and Vibhun Mohanan. These are the midfielders. Any others that you would have liked to see? Under 23s is very hard to sort of again think of under 23s.
नहीं hard की बात नहीं. I think you have a limited option. Basically, you have to choose a 26 member.
Yeah, there are some players where I would have said, listen, but he's played limited in the last few weeks. Would be maybe Sanjeev Stalin would have been sort of. You could play that right back or left back. That would have been one. But then I don't know what the status of Sumit Rathi is at the moment, but he didn't do well last year as well. So therefore, there are a few names that fly around. Who you could have had, and therefore, yeah, I think this is a team which has been put together. I don't know how much thought has been really put behind it to put a team together, and then they looked at, okay, who's playing regularly, take Vivek, and then we have to pick 2 players from the Santosh Trophy, and then we need to pick at least 1 player from the I-League, keep everybody happy. Bas 26 players ho gaya.
Karun Singh Azhar is a miss. Ayush Dev says Amal Shaji. So a couple of names that they're suggesting. You've got forwards now. Abdul Rabi, Gurkirat Singh, Irfan Yadwad, Isak. You've got Nintoy, then you've got Mohammad Sanan, Parthiv Gogoi, Samir Murmu, Shivashakti Narayanan, and Vishnu Putia Valapil. So happy with these because you've got some interesting, sort of exciting players in the forwards list at least.
Because we have always a luxury of wingers. So you can see there are lots of wingers in forward line. And striker में आपके पास ज़्यादा ऑप्शन है नहीं, जो बेंच पे आईएसएल में बैठते हैं उसी को आपको लेना है. सो गुरकीरत, इरफान यादव, शिवाशक्ति थोड़ा सा गेम टाइम मिला है, तो अच्छी बात है वो. एंड विंगर्स में आपने जैसे जितने भी नाम बोले, उसके अलावा हेमार है. काफी सारे लोग बोलेंगे कि जो हैदराबाद के है, बट इश्यू वही है कि विंगर्स आप देखिए कितने सारे आपके पास हो गए. मोहम्मद सनन, अगर ये हो गए आपके निंथोय हो गए, इजाक हो गए, सारे मतलब विंगर्स ही है आपके पास मोस्ट ऑफ दी, सो यू हैव टू ड्रॉप सम ऑफ देम एंड आई थिंक ये सारे प्लेयर अच्छा कर रहे हैं इस सीजन, तो ये एक अच्छी बात है। समीर मुर्मू इज फ्रॉम संतोष ट्रॉफी सर्विसेज साइड, जो कि इस बार संतोष ट्रॉफी विनर रही है, सो उनको चूज किया है, दैट्स एक्साइटिंग प्लेयर। लेट्स सी किस तरह से इंटेंसिव मैच में अगर वो फाइनल स्कोर में जगह बनाते, कैसी परफॉर्मेंस देते, बिकॉज संतोष ट्रॉफी एंड दिस लेवल इज टोटली डिफरेंट, एंड बाकी सारे प्लेयर यहाँ पे आईएसएल में खेल रहे हैं, सो अच्छा कर रहे हैं, सो लेट होप सो यहाँ पे गुरकीरत, शिवा शक्ति एंड इरफान यादव एज अ स्ट्राइकर, वो भी कुछ यहाँ पे कुछ प्रॉमिसिंग हमें गेम प्ले दिखाए। तो ओवरऑल मैंने जैसे बोला ना कि 26 मेंबर में जो मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेयर है, यहाँ पे 3 प्लेयर ही आउटसाइड आईएसएल है, एक आई लीग से है और 2 आपके संतोष ट्रॉफी से है। सो मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर, जो जैसे सर ने बोला कि जो अच्छा कर रहे हैं अभी एट द मोमेंट और गेम टाइम रेगुलर मिल रहा है, उनको यहाँ पे प्रायोरिटीज दी गई है।
Yep. Anwar, what about Jay Gupta?
I don't know. Interesting question. I don't know if he's going to be pulled to the seniors or not, because again, Narendra, for example, has been put into this team, who is also in the senior team probables.
Isaac.
So Isaac as well. So therefore, we'll see tomorrow who. He goes again to senior team. I expect tomorrow the announcement to happen before the team then leaves for Saudi, and again the rest of the players who are in action today leave the day after.
Sir, announcement with that traveling photo or?
हाँ वो तो होगा ना।
पहले ट्रैवलिंग फोटो आ जाएगा, ट्रैवलिंग फोटो आ जाएगा, बाद में अनाउंसमेंट होगा कि हाँ भाई ये प्लेयर जा रहा है।
So that's the way a certain coach does it nowadays, na?
Amul Shahji suggesting David's name as well.
Again, I think the question is again, there are some players who've had decent time in the ISL, but there are others. Again, Irfan Yadwat, for example, has had minimal minutes, and on the other side, it's an interesting thing. Let's see what the coach can get out of these boys. Again, this team has never played together, so you'll be playing against Malaysia, who have been playing on a regular basis. So this is not an easy one for these boys, So I honestly don't expect anything at the moment. If these boys can get any result, brilliant. I'd love to see that. But that's my only thing. If they can get a result, lovely. If they can't, TK, try it next time, because I would not put too much of expectations on this team, because again, I said they have no prior experience of really, some of them have played together. I would like to see, for example, Vipin and Abhishek Suryavanshi, for example, playing in defensive midfield. Those have been two very talented players this season in the ISL playing together. And then, maybe Gurkirat, Parthiv, these guys, Abdul Rabe, Ninthoy, there are a lot of these players. So let's see what Naushad is able to get out of these boys. Because you'll have also limited time. I mean, they're meeting tomorrow in Delhi, and then on the 20th they fly across to KL, and then in KL they'll play the 2 matches on the 22nd and 25th. So there's limited time to prepare something. So again, I'd be more interested if there's going to be something in the June window, because then you potentially get a month's time, and maybe you can do training sessions, the senior team and the under 23s parallel, and maybe even play 1 or 2 friendly matches against each other. I think that would be good for both sides.
Yep. Wish the boys well, and hopefully they can sort of pull together some results. It's going to be interesting.
Under 23 sides are also going with the chartered plane.
Indian teams only now fly with chartered planes.
Well, guys, the sort of this leg of ISL football is over. We're heading into the international break. We'll come back, and of course, we've got a title case to look forward to. But meanwhile, we've got some international football. Hiren, looking forward to the international window.
Definitely, I think the most interesting one, this one, because we need a 6 point. Somehow, coach is 100% confident. So let hope so, and let hope so कि जो एशियन कप में जो भी हुआ वो आई थिंक इस 6 पॉइंट के साथ आई थिंक थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे फैंस डेफिनेटली वो करेंगे, तो आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड टू सी, बट ऑल्सो एक्साइटेड विद दी, आई थिंक जो इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक आया है राइट मोमेंट पे आया है, कि जहाँ पे सबको मतलब आईएसएल में अभी भी गेस वर्क करना पड़ेगा. यू कांट से कॉन्फिडेंटली कि दिस टीम विल विन आईएसएल, सो दैट्स द इंटरेस्टिंग मोड. एंड आई थिंक द नेक्स्ट couple of month will be a lot more exciting, particularly March and April. I think will be exciting one. So let's hope so. इस international break में under 23 and national team, senior team दोनों यहाँ पे बेहतरीन performance put up करें.
Yep. Now 2 games against Afghanistan. Now a week left exactly for that first one. Excited Arnav, for this international break?
It's a tricky one, I feel, right? Because for India, these are very, very important games. For India, it is very, very crucial to get a result. But the question is, are we in a position to get a result? To me, especially the away tie, the first tie, is the crucial one, because I expect us to win at home, right? I mean, at home, our performances have been better. And to me, on that front, I don't know what to expect from Afghanistan. There've been a lot of talk, issues, this, that, everything. Seems some players have come back, some players have not come back, new players seem to not have joined. So I don't know what to expect from Afghanistan. So therefore,
Unpredictability.
And it's a lot of unpredictability on both sides. So therefore, I'm very interested to see what both these teams can do.
I'm sure we're going to sort of.
बट सर एक चीज तो हमारी ओर से क्लियर कट होनी चाहिए ना, कि जैसे कोच ने भी बोला कि हम राउंड 3 में जा रहे हैं, दैट मींस वी आर गेटिंग अ 6 पॉइंट अगेंस्ट अफगानिस्तान, तभी मतलब वो पॉसिबल है राउंड 3 में जाना, अदरवाइज इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट. सो एक चीज तो हमारी ओर से क्लियर कट होनी चाहिए ना, कि कैसे भी, चाहे अफगानिस्तान में ए टीम है, बी टीम है, व्हाटएवर द रीजन, एल्टीट्यूड, व्हाटएवर द थिंग, वी हैव टू बीट देम, सिंपल एज दैट. अदरवाइज तो मतलब अगर अफगानिस्तान को बीट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं.
But we haven't beaten Afghanistan away, na? So that is the reality also, na?
नहीं, we haven't beaten, but
I have to look at what my history is over the last 5-6 years against Afghanistan, or let's say even last 10-12 years, right? Away, we've always struggled. At home, we've always beaten Afghanistan. Then I look at the Asian Cup. I don't know which is my starting 11 under Igor Stimac at the moment. Will he go for form? Will he go for experience, knowledge? I don't know who's the Indian starting 11 at the moment, right? And again, I have to look at also, because we were talking the other day at this whole Sunil situation. Sunil normally needs to start. What do I do? I've got my wingers option. I have to find a space, let's say for Vikram. I have to find a space for this boy in the performance that he is. I need to find space for Manveer as well, some sort of. But I've got even Changte. Brandon didn't look sharp to me. Sahal has not looked good to me. Now you've got this thing today with Suresh again, right? So I have to see. Gurpreet looked very good today, right? So I have to find out where, in what way. Again, Sana's not been called. So Anwar didn't look too good against the Blasters to me. He had his weakness. So it's really interesting to see with the maybe 3-4 sessions that the coach is going to get, that who is going to be in his team. Is he going to go for the regulars, or is he going to make changes? And that's the big thing, because if you see the way he's called up his squad, he seems to have listened to what people have been saying on social media. Now the question is he going to take a bold step, or is he going to play with the usual? And you've seen with Igor that he changes his squad here and there and everywhere.
बट सर मेरा बेसिक पॉइंट वही था कि अगर हम अभी भी, जैसे आपने बोला कि पास्ट में हमने उनको अवे में नहीं हराया है, और 5 साल बाद अभी भी हम उसको नहीं हरा पाते हैं अवे में, देन जो हमने एक फेक बबल जो क्रिएट किया है कि हमने 5 साल में प्रोग्रेस कर दिया, वो तो फिर वो हो जाएगा ना कि वी आर स्टिल देयर.
Hiren, and I know, and Rahul knows that is factually wrong, right? I mean, even the East Bengal fans today are realizing that Stephen Constantine didn't do that bad a job. Right? So that's the reality of where do we stand? Is our playing material better? Look at the under-23 squad, who have been called up. Are these future India stars? That should be my concern. Who is my under 20 squad? Who's my under 17 squad? I don't know these days. So that's something that we need to try and find out and figure out.
Yep. Hridaya and Sigma, they're asking for sort of 11s and choices. Guys, we'll get into the 11s and sort of decide who plays, who doesn't play as we go a little closer to the game. We've still got a week away because
नहीं अभी अभी फाइनल स्कोर भी नहीं है ना 35 मेंबर के आपने प्रोबेबल अनाउंस की है
exactly, and
so
we've just got the probables in. Let's also get the final score. We'll have a discussion then on that, and then we'll move to discussing 11s.
आई
Yeah, guys,
थिंक राहुल फाइनल स्कोर के साथ पिक्चर भी क्लियर हो जाएगी जैसे सर ने बोला कि क्या वो एक्सपीरियंस के साथ जाते हैं क्या वो जो सेम स्कोर थी उसके साथ जाते हैं या फिर जो जैसे विक्रम प्रताप अच्छा कर रहे हैं उसके साथ जाते हैं वो थोड़ा सा जैसे ही फाइनल स्कोर आएगी 23 25 मेंबर व्हाटएवर आई थिंक उसके साथ वो भी पता चल जाएगा कि व्हाट इज थिंकिंग एंड क्या हो सकता है.
And Avneet asking whether Naushad Musa is going to be the coach for the qualifiers.
That's far away. Let's
क्वालिफायर्स तो अभी कहाँ है
it's next year. So therefore, I don't. Again, it's at the moment. Let Naushad try and do something with the boys. He's got limited time. This is again a squad which in this way has never played together. So therefore, let's see what they can do, and then and then again, I think to me is certainly something. That's where it stands. And this whole Som Kumar discussion that's happening, he's playing at youth level. He's not playing at senior level. And we've got 3 keepers who are, one is a regular number 1 and the other 2 have played in the ISL. So that's of a higher level, even if he's played training in Europe. He's not playing at a pro level at the moment. So give him time. Hopefully his time will come. But to me, he's not ready yet. It's the same thing that we had the discussion regarding Parthiv Gogoi and Jay Gupta at the start of the season. You have to perform on a regular basis at the top level. So if you're not at the top level, you're not going to get called. And that's something that, that is something, either you have the experience, people know you. Otherwise, let's see what happens.
Yep. As we're entering an exciting international window, it's going to be another fun week because we're going to this sort of complete our build-up for the 2 games against Afghanistan. We're most likely going to do watch-alongs as well. So, just tune in, guys, on an everyday basis. You can sort of chat with us, ask your questions. We'll get those in. And, thanks again for joining today. Thanks, Anua and Hiren as well. Please like and share our videos and also subscribe to all the channels. Sports Kabli, Curious Harry, and Arun Foot. We'll be back, guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Guys.